Hey Tracy,
Hi, Kristen. How are you doing?
I am good. So we've got a music selection this week. We're going to be reviewing some Jeremy Studdard.
Wow. Okay, Jeremy Sutter, tell me some more because I don't know a whole lot, but I love it already.
Okay, so he is from Oklahoma. He's an Oklahoma artist. Now he was a part of a band called Jackson Tillman. Now Jackson Tillman is getting back together. It's kind of there's been a resurgence here with the early 2000s Red Dirt, Cross Canadian Ragweed, The Great Divide, them getting back together. So Jackson Tillman are getting back together, but he's also doing, stuff on his own. He's released some solo projects. So we're going to be listening to his new solo project releases today. First time ever.
Wow. Okay, I love it. And again, you said his name is Jeremy Studdard.
Jeremy Studdard. Yep.
All right, you got it. And out there for everybody, that is two D's. Studdard, Studdard, Jeremy Studdard. I even asked Kristen. So, Kristen, I'm going to make sure we have his information here, and it's jeremystuddard.com, or does his
Yes, it is.
Instagram?
It is jeremystuddard.com. And actually, if you get on his website, he's got it set up to where you can stream his music straight from his website right there. These two brand new songs that have just come out. So if you get on jeremystuddard.com, you can, if you like the songs you hear tonight, you can go straight onto that site and download them, get them on your playlist.
Well, I love it, Kristen. Now you let me know what we're going to play here, and I will pull that right up for you.
Okay, I'm feeling a little. Let's do I Don't Go There Anymore. Now this is a new one of his. I actually haven't listened to this one, so I'll be listening to it for the first time with you.
Oh, okay. And we're going to do the whole song with Jeremy Studdard. And
Whole
it's
song, yeah.
okay. You got it. It is I Don't Go There Anymore by Jeremy Studdard. And here's the song. Thank you, Kristen.
I don't go there anymore, even just to have a few. I don't go there anymore, like we used to do. Them old smoke-filled bars and dance floors, they're still shining in the neon light. I don't go there anymore, 'cause there's a memory to find. If I go there, will I see you? Lick it easier in time to see him spinning you around the dance floor, like I did when you were mine. Can I keep my heart together if I see you in another's arms? There was a time we had forever. Somehow we've drifted apart. Chance if I could ever make things right, I swore I'd never be here again. Looks like I'm walking into night. Now that your memory's in its place, I can finally close that door. Girl, I'm over you, and I don't go there
it, Kristen. Tell me more.
He like I said, he's been with Jackson Tillman, and they've got a lot of music together, but he's doing solo stuff too. This is part of his solo stuff. You know, and the thing about Jeremy that I like so much is that he's got such a traditional country sound. From his voice to his music to the way he writes. You can listen to that and it takes you back to 90s country. What do you think?
I literally was thinking 90s country and like, the sweetheart beauty of the country sound that makes you fall in love all over again with the
Mhm.
music. So I thought it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So, Kristen, this song is out, or when did this come out?
It is out. It is out now, and you can get on his
Okay.
website and download it. And this one is one of my favorites. I know we're gonna be listening to the fishing song next, but this one actually, first time I've heard that one, and I have to say it's my favorite of the two right now that we're going to be listening to, because that one really puts you in that heartbreak bar scene. You can feel that one. That's a sad
Yes.
country song. We've all
Yes,
been there. I don't go there anymore. We've all been there.
we do. We do. It almost had like, there's a part in Urban Cowboy, and then there's also a part in other scenes that are literally what you were saying. Like, it reminded me of that 90s honky tonk, like street
Yeah.
country vibe, right? So shout
Yeah,
out to
and
Jeremy Studdard.
yeah, Jeremy Studdard's got some great music that he's doing with himself and with Jackson Tillman, and even with Jackson Tillman, they came about the early mid 2000s Red Dirt movement, but they've got a lot of 90s traditional sounding stuff too, which I absolutely love, and I think that is trying to make its way back into country music. I know these guys have been doing it forever, but I think people are starting to really want that 90s sound again. What do you think?
Definitely. Definitely. I knew like 80s was coming back in a different genre. And now I'm like, wait, the 90s are coming as far as in our country music, like that sound.
Right.
And I'm loving it. I mean, I think it's amazing. And so I'm going to be checking out Jeremy Suddard even more and making sure he's on a playlist, because in order to support our artists nowadays, we have to make. Did you hear my country just go really nowadays? So Jerry Studdard is going to be on a playlist. You've got to create your playlist. This is Two Step Reviews with Kristen, Rachelle, and myself. And Kristen, I absolutely loved it. And I know you have another song. So Kristen's driving this show tonight. So take it, Kristen.
I got to pick the artist, and with Jeremy having brand new music out, I had to put the focus on to him. Now his sound is just awesome because it's 90s. It's what I grew up on. I really wish that with the 90s country music coming back, I wish Rockies would come back. Let's find. Do you remember those?
Yeah,
Do you remember Rockies, Jeans?
I do actually.
Yeah, yeah. Bring the Rockies back too with the 90s country music. Come on.
Great. Wouldn't that be so cool? Like, we got to find them and be like, hey, would you like to sponsor? You would fit perfect for what we're doing, everything that we're doing, and bringing back the music to the people, Kristen.
Yes, those I have to talk about those jeans for a second because they were built different than normal jeans. Okay, back in the day, I wore a 00 in Rockies.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I would not ever be able to fit into a 00 because the 00 in Rockies, back then was like that was impossible.
That's like tiny. That would be like what, a 14, or you know what I mean, like junior sizes, because they ran so small.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was. That was the you don't have a waist or a butt size. That
Oh,
that was just the
okay. I can dig that. I like it. I love it. How have you been doing, Kristen? We're starting, this is our second episode with the music reviews, and I just love what you're doing. Would you like to? I want them to be able to find your show as well, and not just our singular show. So I want to make
Mhm.
sure we bring that up definitely while we're
Okay.
doing our show.
I have my born and bred segments that are on different radio stations. We've got the Bull 99.1 out of Arizona, 107.5 the Swamp. I'm on those stations as well as Fishbowl Radio Network. But my interviews, I've been doing interviews with independent artists for years, and I previously had worked with Outlaw Television, Canyon Star TV, and I don't work with either of them anymore. So all of those interviews, if anyone's interested in seeing my old interviews, you can go to Kristen Rachelle on YouTube, and you can pull up all those old interviews with the Red Dirt artists. I've got so many on there, and I'm going to be updating them. I'm going to be getting back to doing some more. But if you're interested in the old ones, they're right there on YouTube, Kristen Rachelle.
You got it. I wanted to make sure we did that so that we got you. Her name is right there in front of us on
Yeah.
the flyer here, Kristen Rachelle. Be sure to check that out. And then again, Patriots Inside the Wire is a production of Two Step Tribe. So the Two Step Tribe Music Reviews is a blending of our shows for the independent artists who are out there that we support through multiple things right now. So if anyone wants to get in touch with us with anything that we're doing on the show, we encourage you to reach out to either Kristen, which is very easy to find. If you're on any platform, you can look up. And again, I am out there too. You can go to the website, patriotsinsidethewire.com. And then Kristen, like she mentioned, which I should have said was YouTube. You can check out our YouTube, Two Step Tribe, literally. So all of these shows are there too. So I wanted to make sure that Kristen got her shows mentioned. Kristen, I'm letting you take again the lead here back into our music. Where are we going?
We are going to be sticking with Jeremy Studdard's other new song that has come out. And if you are a fishing fan, a fan of fishing, then this song is for you. So take it away, Tracy.
You got it. This is Jeremy Studdard, and it is called literally Fish In with an N, right, Kristen?
Yep.
Fish In Forever. Here it is. This is Fishin' Forever, JeremyStuddard.com. Please check it out.
This 9-to-5 stuff's about to drag me down, and I don't like to fight the traffic in and out of town. When you're chained to a job, it can really be a grind. Everybody needs a little relief, a place they can go to unwind. I was just wishing I could go fishing forever. Grab my old cane pole, head down to the home river. Leave my worries behind, grab a little peace of mind. Things would be a whole lot better. I was just wishing I could go fishing forever. Well, the boss man wants me to work again this weekend, but I can think of better ways that my time can be spent. I need all the money that I can lay my hands on, but I can't wait to get back on the lake and pull me in the big one. I was just wishing I could go fishing forever. Grab my old cane pole, head down to the home river. Leave my worries behind, grab a little peace of mind. Things would be a whole lot better. I was just wishing I could go fishing forever. Oh! Worries behind, grab a little peace of mind. Things would be a whole lot better. I was just wishing I could go fishing forever. Now I bet you're all wishing you could go fishing forever. Well, I'm sitting here wishing I could go fishing forever.
upbeat, very upbeat.
I love it. I'm over here like, I'm like, oh my gosh, someone's going to pick up on this video and be like, look at that woman over there. I loved it, Kristen. That's an amazing song. I love that one. It made me like move. It's infectious.
Yeah.
I loved it.
And that one again, it's got that 90s country sound to it.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it so much. Like, take it away. I just like listening to you too because you know more about him. He's from Oklahoma, literally. Mm-hmm. So, but fishing, no G, forever. And he's talking about going to the lake, right? So I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's where I would like to be. I wanted to be there today. I know it's not quite warm enough yet, but yeah, I have been thinking of the lake. I actually just got done eating with a friend of mine who, we went out on his boat quite a bit this past summer at Lake Texoma. So the whole lake thing is in the air. It's early, but it's in the air.
You're feeling it. You're feeling it. You're
yeah.
like, I've got the water bug, man. Like, let's bring the lake on.
I do. I am so ready.
Oh, I hear you. So, Kristen, next week we get to go. This episode's airing for everyone. As we're airing this, we will be at the music awards with each other, literally. So I can't wait for that. And we'll bring more to everyone, literally, with our show. I do know that for 107.5 The Swamp on Saturday nights, this show for our music reviews will be played on the radio. So I'm checking in with you, Kristen, on our artists we're talking about tonight and letting you talk. But I wanted to let you know which night on 107.5 The Swamp that Jeremy Studdard's show and his music review will be playing. I got the answer for us.
You got the answer for it.
Yes.
I'm excited to hear more Jeremy Studdard music. I'm excited to hear more Jackson Tillman music, which is his other band as well. And being from Southwest Oklahoma, which is where I'm from, there's not a ton of bands that have come from here. There's a lot of bands from Oklahoma, but not a ton we can lay claim to and say, oh, that's our people, that's our area. But Jackson Tillman for sure is our area. They're Southwest Oklahoma. And I have to give a shout out to Sean Gomez. He is also in the band Jackson Tillman. And, get ready because not only does Jackson Tillman have some cool stuff coming up, but like I said, Jeremy Studdard working on his solo project, got a lot of stuff coming up too. So pay attention to that name, folks. You're going to want to put it on your playlist.
Yes. Kristen, I recognize. So Jackson Tillman is very familiar. Like they have actually a lot of music together, right?
They do. They have quite a bit together. They were there in that early mid 2000s red dirt country when things were picking up so much, in Oklahoma. So they're a part of the whole red dirt movement.
That's a movement. The red dirt movement is very unique in its own. I love it. I love this. Jeremy Studdard, again, we're running that across the bottom there. If you're checking out our YouTube channel or you're on 107.5 The Swamp, this show will air. You're listening to Jeremy Studdard, 2 Ds, STUDDARD, JeremyStuddard.com. Like Kristen said, you can go to his website. That's the easiest way. And again, for myself, for Two Step Tribe or Patriots Inside the Wire, like Kristen said on YouTube, and of course for her. And I'm turning it back over to Kristen to talk more, and I'm going to listen.
Okay. Well, I have some questions for you.
Oh.
So yeah, I want to hear, being that Jeremy Studdard has such a 90s sound to him, I want to hear what you liked so much about 90s country. Is it just a nostalgic thing for you, or is the sound just completely different? Is it just a completely different sound than what we have nowadays for the most part?
Okay, so for me personally, I think it's different. Like I think today's country is like a booming mix of, it's even got a little bit of pop in it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like a very crossed over country in general. But Jeremy to me is classic. It's like what you think about classic when you're at a bonfire or like high school and the dance halls and literally fishing in the creek. Like that, it's like giving me goosebumps. It's like it just makes me all warm and
Mhm.
like, it's like in the heartbeat is what I feel. So for me personally, I really love the 90s. It reminds me of the simple things, and I just really like things to be a lot more simple like that in the 90s. With,
Yeah.
I like all sorts of music, don't get me wrong, but 90s country, I don't know if you can beat that unless we're going to go back to outlaw, which
Yeah.
it's hard.
Those those are two good areas. Either way, I like my country without pop in it.
Thank you. I agree with you because I'm a super honest individual. If anyone pays attention, we're truth tellers over here. We're not even scripting this. We're telling you that she just said it, and I'm like, take the pop out of the country. I was being a little too nice. I agree with you.
Country now country nowadays not only has a lot of pop in it, but it's got a lot of R&B in it as well, which is
Mhm.
it's really interesting because it should be its own complete genre of music now. It doesn't
Yeah,
sound anything and doesn't sound anything like it did. And I know people coming from 70s country could say that about 80s and 80s could say that about 90s, but here in this decade in this era it for sure has taken a completely different turn. Like I said, it should be a whole different genre. It needs another name.
right. Like we
It
should
does.
give, like, okay, tribe keeps thrown around. Kristen, I have a question for you too. We're doing our show, we're doing the music reviews. I started thinking, I'm like, what do you think of when you hear tribe? That came from many of the independent artists that are grouping together. And so I've been asked quite a bit lately, like, Tracy, what is tribe? What is two-step tribe show? And so you're familiar with tribe as well. And so we're featuring Jeremy because he's independent, but can you kind of help me explain, I guess, out there, like what it is we're doing in tribe?
Well, we've got a lot of people within the tribe that we work with, and we're all supporting each other, which is something that is really awesome for the music industry and entertainment. Because oftentimes you see people kind of sectioned off in their own little areas. So we have got an actual tribe of people, that we work with, that we help push and promote, and people that are independent, people that are 100% independent. We are out there and we're independent as well, which is what makes it great because we got two independent people here that come from radio and we're pushing independent artists. That's what we're about. But the tribe, it's a bunch of us. Shout out to Uncle Rhino. There's a whole lot of people behind the scenes who want to keep pushing and promoting independent artists.
I love it. And so I kind of wanted to get your interpretation because I literally have been asked that just today. They were like, it's an interesting name. You keep saying Two Step Tribe show, and I was like, yes, it's radio, it's a broadcast, it's a podcast, it's multiple facets, but it's all music and independent artists, and it's kind of like the grouping of family. So I'm glad that you were able to give your interpretation of what tribe is. What do you have going on too, Kristen? Coming up on your show as well. I want everyone to be sure to go check out Kristen Rachelle on YouTube. And you've been in radio a really long time, so I love that you picked the artist right there where you're from. And I
Mhm.
I want to hear more from you about what's going on in the business too.
Oklahoma is really rich in music, and people, when they think of it, they don't think of that. They don't think of a music culture. But we've actually got quite a bit of talent here, as far as singers, songwriters go. I work with a group called Sounds Okay, and we're a nonprofit, and we are trying to help push and promote the Oklahoma music scene, especially the Southwest music scene. In Texas, you guys have got your music scene a little bit more together, you do, you really do. You've got it so much together that when people think red dirt, I think they automatically go they automatically go Texas,
Mm,
which Oklahoma was the original place for red dirt. We had Cross Canadian, Great Divide. Great Divide was the band that actually started it all. So we cannot forget about the Great Divide. They were an amazing band way ahead of their time. So here in Oklahoma, we are working to, let people see and let people know that, hey, we're here. We've got amazing talent, amazing artists, awesome singers, songwriters, all right here, not just in Tulsa, but Southwest Oklahoma as well.
Well, I love it. And then Kristen, everything we're doing, like Jeremy Studdard is definitely a definition of that. Like everything in his music, I could hear it. And so I love the 90s vibe. When you mentioned red dirt music, that's another thing. Like anyone that's not in Texas or in our area, they're like, what do you mean red dirt music? What do you have to say about that one, Kristen?
That is a neat name, and people, they don't know what it is, but it's kind of transformed over the years, and now people are going from red dirt to calling it like the alternative, which I think fit it fits, what's going on nowadays. It fits the vibe a little better, y'all alternative. When I think of red dirt, really honestly, I think of the Great Divide. Now, when you think of red dirt, what do you think of?
That's a great question because there is a lot of crossover right now. So I was
Yeah, there is.
literally like, what do we think of? You mentioned Texas. We have a lot going on in Texas, by the way. I'll have to catch you up on that. But that's a great question. I don't know if I could pick out just one because it seems to like keep changing lanes as far as country music is going. But several of the stations, I mean, to me, it's your classic, good old country vibe, red dirt lane. And then to me, and in an outlaw way too, it's like your classic. There's no pop, literally,
Yeah.
in that genre of red dirt. But I had a friend from Nashville. They were like, "Why did you say red dirt?" I was like, "Well, that's a Texas Oklahoma sort of thing."
Yeah.
So,
That's funny. Bringing up Nashville, I had when I had worked with a television network over there, I was trying to introduce some artists to, the network head, and I brought up Red Dirt, and I brought up the alternative, and I brought up our, Oklahoma Texas style music, and I was like, hey, this is what we've got going on over in our state, and of course their opinions are so different in Nashville. They are so different, and he really wasn't like he was like, oh yeah, it sounds okay, and I'm like, sounds okay, it sounds amazing. It's a lot better than what you've got going on in your top 40 radio stations. And in Nashville, everything is so cookie cutter. And right now, everyone's making a big deal about Zach Top because he sounds 90s. And I'm like, hey, we've been our artists over here in Oklahoma, they've been a lot of them have been keeping it in the 90s. We got a lot of those guys over here, guys and girls.
You do actually, and Jeremy Studdard is a classic example of that. And Jackson Tillman, you were talking about the band,
Yeah,
and yeah, and so Jeremy is deciding to do some solo work, and that's what you're able to pull in tonight for us.
Yeah, that his solo, I should have gotten some Jackson Tillman, to put on the show too if I would have thought about it ahead of time. But they have got all their stuff out there on YouTube. You can still go check out their music videos and their music. If you want to check out Jackson Tillman, I think my favorite is My Girl from the Back Roads. That's an awesome one. That's another 90s sounding one. So definitely go check
Nice.
that one out.
My Girl from the Back Roads. Just the name is enough.
Yeah. It's that back road driving. Those are the best times sometimes. Is just spending time on the back roads with your date, your friends. Like those are some great memories, and they
Your
managed to capture
dog.
that. Yeah, yeah. If it needs to be. They managed to capture that kind of magic, romantic thing here, that we know about, all the back roads in that song. I love that song.
I love it. I love it. And that's why I thought of Bonfire. I thought of like, the back roads, literally when I was listening, like Fishing Forever reminded me of that. So yeah, I love it. It's really, really good. It's classic and it takes me back to a time where it was like, just seems so easy, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I just love it. I love everything about Jeremy Studdard for sure. On jeremystuddard.com, check that out and check out more music as well. Kristen, let's maybe give them a little more. What would we like to announce them? You could let them know about the CMA. We do have something coming up with CMA actually.
Yeah, that is this weekend, right? Is that
So, well, we have Springboard this weekend, and the CMA will be there. But what we also have is you and I will be literally, as this is airing, as you're all listening to this music, Kristen and I will actually be at an award show. So when we come back to you, we'll give you more about that. But we have an opportunity where we are talking to CMA of Texas, literally, about doing the Sergeant Two-Step Award, literally. So this is the first time we've been able to announce this, and we'll get into it more on a different show. But there's an opportunity that you and I, will be able to work with the CMAs of Texas. So
oh,
I
awesome.
thought that was really, really nice. And I would like to get you and I, as we're doing our music reviews, to put that together too, like on stage, and to work with them in a festival that they're about to put on, literally a full festival for us. So to me, I was like, my jaw, I was like, wait, what? You want to do what? And I'm like, I immediately thought I have to grab Kristen Rachelle, because Kristen, what you've done in radio, the knowledge that you have with the music is just beyond incredible. And we both could go put up a stage, literally, probably, like put it together and all. So I'm like, we will do the red carpet interviews. We will put them on the stage. What do you want us to do? Like, we are all about like supporting our independent artists. So definitely let that out there, Kristen, because that is in the works right now. So I thought that was pretty nice. Like, I'm very, very excited about it.
I'm excited about that as well. I really am. There's a whole lot of opportunity there for the artists, too,
Mhm.
with all of this and the award coming up. So it's gonna help. It's gonna help get a lot of people some more exposure, and
And in the
it's gonna be
community, like you mentioned,
yeah.
you're with a community there that's supporting artists in Oklahoma. I caught that a little bit. So you're working with a organization for music there in Oklahoma.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
It's a
great.
nonprofit. It is to help kind of the Southwest Oklahoma, well, all Oklahoma music scene kind of network and to get together, promote themselves more, let people know that they're out there. Like I said earlier, you've got your music scene in Texas together really well. You've got it together really well.
It's
Oklahoma
large, that's for
is
sure.
large. Oklahoma's a little, behind the times. We're trying to catch up.
I think you're doing a great job, and that's why I wanted to mention that everything that you've been doing right there in Oklahoma, you're used to that small town feel, I think, right? Like, I think like Jeremy is the definition. When you chose Jeremy Studdard, it's like the definition of small town home,
Hmm.
America, and getting
Right.
back to the basics.
He's the real country. That's what country really is, is someone that lived it, writes it, understands it, knows it. It's quite a bit different than what we're fed at, fed in certain situations. The top 40. It's a whole different experience.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So for our music reviews, we're doing this organically to anyone out there listening to us, literally. So KT, I was like, what is our review of Jeremy Studdard? Like, it's not bad.
We love him. We love him. We
We-
love his 90s country sound. We love, the honesty and the simplicity of all of it. And he's got a timeless voice. He's just got a timeless voice, and like he fits in. He just fits in with that nostalgic era.
Wow. Everything you're saying, I 100% agree on. Like, everything with Jeremy Studdard is amazing. Everything he's doing, I am absolutely just in love with it. I am going to go. I am going to go check out Jeremy Studdard on his website. Kristen, what else do we have coming up? Would you like to pick the artist next week on which
You
night?
know, I am very interested. You mentioned Leaf Shively, and I want to do him next. I want to
Ooh,
do him next because his sound next, his sound is like it's hard. He's
Okay.
country, but he's more rock country. So, we had some nostalgic, country this week. Next week, let's do some rock country from
Ooh,
Louisiana. Let's do something a
that,
little different.
that is Leaf Shively, yes. And so we have his music already here, so that's a great one. But I say for Jeremy Sutter, like, is it 5 stars? Are we going up to 10? It's like I
Oh,
am
we're
like all up
We're going
there.
up to 10. We're going up to 10. This
Okay.
guy, he's been pushing hard for his music for years. Like I said, working with Jackson Tillman, working on solo stuff, That's a lot. That is a lot. He's always busy, keeping very busy inside music, and he's very passionate about what he does. So, and these guys, for them to hang on as long as they have and continue to write, continue to put out music, continue to put out content. They're inspiring because they keep going. They keep going. They keep giving us, their dreams and their creativity, and I love that he's got so much. He's got a lot of music in his past that people can go dig through, between him and Jackson Tillman.
I love it. I love everything about it, Kristen. So thank you. Like another night of a great music review. I did this and I was like, oh my gosh, look like I'm doing jazz hands or something. So I was like,
Yes, what Jeremy Sutter
Kristen,
gets jazz hands.
yeah, there you go.
That's like the biggest compliment you can get.
There you go. All right. I was like, what are you doing, Tracy? So I love it. Jeremy stuttered, and like they should be tuning in because we're going to be picking out an artist every week, and we'll be giving a review. And if there's an artist out there that would like to get in touch with us, we'd be more than happy to try to get their music on air with us because we're on air actually doing music reviews. We're not just on the stations, but of course, go to our YouTube, go to our channels. It's easy to find us, but we can actually get their music on air as we're doing the reviews. So
Yeah.
I love that. All that we can do to help our artists, I'm like, thank you so much. So for 107.5 The Swamp, and again, Kristen, I'm going to turn it over to you because you have other stations that have been wonderful as well. And so,
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the Bull 99.1 over there in Arizona, Lynn Novin. He is another terrestrial radio station besides Rob Charles that really just puts a lot of emphasis behind their outlaw country, their independent country, whatever you want to call it, red dirt, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, he's all about that. He's all about those little gems, musical gems all over, pushing them, promoting them, exposing people to them. And I'm thankful that we get the opportunity to expose, an Arizona audience and a Louisiana audience to, our brand of music over here in Oklahoma and Texas.
right? Like we're literally doing that. Like we're literally taking music and putting it outside of even Louisiana, Arizona. At the 107.5 The Swamp, they're on 60 syndicated different stations. And so they go outside of even
Yeah.
the United States. So I'm like, we can get music on all over. So again, I am just grateful. And for what we have come, I like that you picked Leaf Shively. I am going to be super honest here. I don't know much about Leaf, so I'm going to go do my homework. I just know that it's like a rock country.
Yeah. Yeah, he has some music that hits pretty hard. I
Okay.
have to say I'm a fan. I have been playing him on the Born and Bred show, and he's in the lineup this week as well as Jeremy Studdard and Jackson Tillman, all in the lineup this week on the show, which you can catch on 107.5 The Swamp, 99.1 The Bull in Arizona, Fishbowl Radio Network, all those places.
Nice. I love it. Well, tonight's been another great night with Jeremy Studdard. Again, Jeremy, that's 2 D's, Jeremy Studdard, STUDDARD.com. Check out his music. Fishin', oh my gosh, his song, just the name Fishin', like all by itself, like you can't forget that song. And then obviously the very first song that you picked of his was
Oh
just
yeah.
Classic.
I don't
I
I
love it.
don't go there anymore. Is that right? That the name? Was that the name? I don't go there
Oh,
anymore.
Jeremy Studdard, yes. I don't go
Yeah.
there anymore was like in the heart, like there's a scene in Urban Cowboy and other like honky tonk movies that I was like, and it reminds you of the 90s,
It
you
just
know, and
takes you right there to that moment. And I think that if you were alive in the time we were alive,
yeah,
when we were younger, you've all had a moment like that. I don't
you
go there anymore. There is a sad country bar scene in everyone's life in Oklahoma or
yes.
Texas, at some point. There's that scene, you can identify with that.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, Kristen. So again, I did that and I didn't mean to, but Jeremy Studdard got that, and I was like, okay. So I love it, Kristen. So I have enjoyed doing this segment with you again for music reviews, and we hope that we'll get more people and more artists and to check out the show. So I am saying thank you to you, Kristen Rachelle, for bringing us Jeremy Studdard's music again on this show, and let us know what we need to know on your end, and we'll be back again next week.
Yes, next week. Make sure that during the week you tune into the Born and Bred shows. Got stuff on my social media, Kristen Rochelle, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, of course.
Yeah,
And it's really cool that we're kind of marrying these two projects, my project, your project. It's really cool that we're bringing them together because
yeah,
between the two of us, you've got all your artists in Texas, that you love and that you've been listening to and pushing for years. And then I've got all the ones in Oklahoma that I've been listening to for years and pushing. So I'm excited to kind of marry those two things together and bring a whole lot of music out there to people who might not have otherwise heard it.
exactly. Well, I love it. So you let me know when we're wrapping, because you are the one that has been in radio literally recently in the station. So I am following your lead for Jeremy
You're probably
Studdard.
my lead.
I am following you.
If you are following my lead, we're going to call it an early night.
Yay! All right, Kristen. I love this. Jeremy said it again. He got all the hands and fingers from all of us. Like, I just was like, okay, that's like in my heart. I literally felt it all over. So thank you for everything you're doing, Kristen. Again, Kristen Rochelle, as you mentioned, you can find me at Patriots Inside the Wire and also Two Step Tribe. Both of us work with a lot of the artists that, if you see hashtag tribe, you'll understand that that is a lot of independent artists, and that's the Two Step Tribe show. Check that out on YouTube or Patriots Inside the Wire. Both are on YouTube. And again, you can find us on all of your social media platforms. How would you like to sign off tonight, Kristen, since I'm following you?
All right. Well, you've been tuned in with Kristen Rochelle and Tracy Two Step right here, live streaming Inside the Wire.
I love it. Well, thanks so much again with Inside the Wire, the music reviews with Kristen Rochelle. And I'm Tracy Two Step. So thanks for joining us and tune back in. Nice to have you out there tuning in. Thanks again to all the stations. Get in touch. Bye.